What is up, guys? Stream. I'll use my microphone. How is everyone doing today? Happy Tuesday? What day is it? Wednesday? I don't know what day it is. Welcome everyone to the Wednesday Hobby and Chat stream. Hey Xavier, how's it going, man? Welcome. I guess today we are going to be continuing work on the Wave Serpent. Got some cool things to talk about. Got a little unboxing for you guys. Exciting. A lot happening in this little package. Very exciting. So hopefully you guys will I haven't really looked through it, so we're gonna kind of do that together as a team, and then give you some updates on a few other things. I'm just gonna throw my headphones on here. Let me know if you guys are working on anything cool. All right. I feel really guilty, guys. Like, I have to admit, I have been this is the most, like, for those of you guys that know me, you know that I have like a pretty addicting, well, people in real life that know me, they know I have I guess an addicting personality. And addictive personality, sorry, is a better way to say it. And I get obsessive, I guess. Not with like, well, I was gonna say not with bad things, but that would be a lie. There's definitely some bad things that I am addicted to that I should not be. But anyways, my point is, I get very like focused on certain things and like really like intense into things. So to give you guys an example, like I was like playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. Smack is very Moorish. Don't beat yourself up. Yeah, I don't know what smack is. I think is heroin. Is smack heroin? I even talk about heroin on stream without getting banned. Anyways, I do have a very addicting personality. Yeah, I've never actually done heroin, so cheers. Yeah, I've never done that, and I don't recommend it. So, anyways, well, I don't think the algorithm's that strong, right? Like, unless one of you guys reported me, I don't think I would get banned if I even just said the words. I don't think it auto scans what I'm saying. So, anyways, you're getting me, Leo Crusher, you're getting me distracted with your drug talk. I have a very like focused, addictive personality where I get really into something and then like really like can't stop. So to give you guys an example, I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 and I didn't really want to paint, and now I'm like the opposite. Like I'm logging in twice per week Final Fantasy 14 just to do some raiding with my guild, but I like haven't been able to stop painting Eldar. Yesterday all day, today all day, like I've been painting because I'm not working right now, right? I've been painting for like 6 hours already. I've been painting today. And yesterday I painted all day before I streamed. And then Monday even, we did like a 4.5 hour stream, but I painted for like 5 hours before that. But right now my hobby mojo is like super strong. And I think part of it is because like, I want to get back to playing really bad. And this Eldar release has me really excited. So anyways, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think it's a good thing. It's cool. It's nice. It's nice. I guess what I'm saying, it's nice to feel super excited about painting again, because it's something that I've always loved doing. And I definitely go through phases where I feel like I'm more motivated and not motivated. And right now I'm super motivated. And I have a lot of stuff to paint. Hey Kimbobo, what's going on? I have a lot of stuff to paint right now. And I have this like huge motivation to like paint the army. And I think part of it is because like I'm really enjoying the actual like final product. Like I'm really enjoying the end result of the work that I'm doing, right? Like a lot of times you might paint something and you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, it's okay. But the feedback from the community has been really awesome on the stuff I've been working on. But also I've been really happy with it, and I love looking at it. So I'll just show you guys what I've been working on and what we're gonna be kind of working on today, and then we'll get into some cool stuff. Oh, Xavier, man, thanks, man. I'm sorry about your girlfriend breaking up with you. That sucks. Hopefully you didn't have to call the police on her like I did to the girl a few weeks ago. Because if you were here yesterday, you heard that story. All right, so what have we been working on? So yesterday, you guys know I started the Wave Serpent, and there's been a few. Oh shit! There's a Wave Serpent. There's been a few. Updates, which are kind of exciting. Okay, first, I have to give a huge shout out. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's do it in this order. So first, I decided before I painted the entire model, I wanted to paint just the canopy, the turret piece, to see if I liked the scheme and if I was happy with the scheme, and kind of like the direction it was going. Let's see here. Let me just turn down my ISO. You guys can see the colors a little bit better. So I ended up just basically painting this part of it because I wanted to kind of test out the scheme on the, I guess, top piece. I'm holding it really weird because it's not varnished right now. And because it's airbrushed, the paint is quite... Here, you know what I'll do? This guy here. That work? I know. The gems, man, I'm telling you. Okay, there we go. Oh. Okay, so this is the top piece, I guess, of the... Yeah, there's lots of gems. You can see kind of what it looks like right now. It's obviously fully magnetized, so I'm just being really gentle with it, guys, because I haven't varnished this yet, and airbrush is like so thin, like airbrush layers, even though like it looks solid, the layers are usually super thin that I find that like handling it, excessive handling can pick off the varnish. But basically these pieces pop off, and yeah, obviously I got to gloss varnish the gems, and then I got the little eyepiece there, and then these pieces kind of break apart, and even the gems that you can't see are all painted in there. And I didn't do a ton of highlights on the insides, guys. Like this is one of my problems, is I tend to highlight things that like that actually shouldn't be highlighted, because like if you think about it, what is a highlight, right? What is a highlight? It's you replicating the look of the light hitting the model, right? But like, so then why do I highlight dark things? Like, why do I highlight these gems and this part of the black that's like literally in the dark? I'll still highlight it because like I know in my head that if I don't highlight it, it's not going to be good. So anyway, so I finished this piece basically on its own this morning, right? And I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I hope you guys like it. Okay, so that's update 1. Second, I messaged, I put a work in progress of the Wave Serpent on my Instagram last night, and my very I don't say good friend, but like good pal, fellow painter, fellow commission painter, hobby legend, Bobby Clark from Red Eagle Studios, he sent me a message and he was like looking good, and he's like, I usually paint them separately when I airbrush them because it's easier. And I was like, Jim, you're an idiot. Why didn't I do that? So I went and I performed some surgery on my Wave Serpent, and I basically broke it apart like this because I was like, I want a two-tone scheme, right? So I want one color on top and one color on bottom. But before, I had it glued together, and I was basically gonna have to tape it, and then I was gonna have to be really rough handling it and all this stuff. Now this is actually really easy because A, I basically have blue tack to my painting handle, so it lets me hold the top like this. And B, which you guys will see right now, I went ahead and I finished and painted basically the bottom half for the most part of the Wave Serpent. So I went and cleaned it up. I did a lot of the black, basically getting it all ready for kind of assembly with the rest. And it was actually so easy because I was able to kind of get all the places. And you know me, guys, I like to paint things even when you can't see them. So like there's parts here that were inaccessible because of the hull, but I managed to paint them because I disassembled it. I still have to do the Shuriken Cannon, which is a separate piece, but I separated this, and it was like super easy to paint. You can see I scraped off the paint on the magnet. I generally do that because that paint ends up getting chipped off anyways just from use. That's obviously why it's silver. But basically I went through, I kind of reblended it, re-airbrushed it, and painted in some of the black. Now here's my conundrum. I've kind of painted this as far as I want to take it at the moment. Like basically I've done the shadows and shades. I've base coated everything, all the gray areas, I've washed them, and I painted all the gems black because I didn't want to paint all these gems and then go back and paint them again. But now the question is, and this is kind of like, I'm curious, I'm thinking I'm going to assemble it and then do the final highlights, because as I said, guys, one of my like, I guess, sicknesses is that I'll go and highlight things that like shouldn't really be highlighted. So even though I was painting the underside of this tank, I have this like weird urge to like highlight all the gray and highlight all the panels and highlight all the gems as if the thing is upside down. But in reality, these areas, they're kind of dark. I mean, you can kind of see they're quite dark. They're not like, they're slightly highlighted. Let's see if I can do it better. So they're slightly highlighted. Basically, all I've done is do base coat, wash, base coat. So there's a little bit of shading in there, just in like the cracks and stuff. And you can see, obviously, I put a little bit of like, I just kind of pin wash and put a little bit of dark color into the cracks. But like my monkey reptile brain is like, Jim, you should go and edge highlight all of these panels. But then I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't even make sense, because the whole point of the underside is that it's dark. So why would I highlight the bottom as if it's not dark, right? That doesn't make sense. But like the part of me that needs to make sure every part of the model is painted to the same standard is like, no, you should paint it. So I'm not going to do that. I've decided. I'm going to wait. I'm going to leave this for now. I'm going to paint the top today. That's what we're going to work on. So we're going to get the blend and the I've gone ahead and base coated this. And guys, it's really let me see if I can fix the color balance, because it looks really blue on camera. It's actually, see here. That's probably closer. If I can, I wonder if there's a way to fix the color balance. What color does that look like on camera? Here. It almost looks blue on camera. That's what it looks like to me. It's hard to tell. I don't know. See, this is the problem with it's not blue though, it's green. It's like mint. Like that's what I'm saying. The color is really hard to tell on camera. Like the color is it's much closer to green than it is turquoise. Hey Mega T Cash, what's going on? Thanks for joining, man. Oh, the other thing I was going to mention, and so this is the thing, and I actually learned this about I didn't really know this, and I'm sure you guys that are like, if you're in graphics design or in photography or videography, it's something you don't really think about, but it's something you should think about. It's like seeing a color on a screen is actually like three different. It's like telephone, right? Because you have the camera that picks up the color a certain wavelength, right? But then you also have your monitor that displays the color a certain way. So this model in real life will always look different through a camera, through a monitor, than it will like it's actually incredibly hard. And one of the things I learned about like really high-end monitors, like in film editing and stuff, they actually use these like $20,000 monitors that do like really high color range matching, or like color correction, or I don't even know what it's called, but basically it allows them to have like, basically when they do color correction on film, it allows them to have like the monitors produce the same colors as like real life. Basically it's like a lot closer to real life. Whereas like if you've ever gone to like an electronics store and you see all the TVs, right? And then like all the TVs have like the same thing showing, but like they all look slightly different. Well, that's no different than your monitor, and that's no different than my camera. So the color you guys see on the camera is actually going through like two different transformations, one my camera, one the monitor, and your monitor, whatever. So like it's always hard. And then obviously if I'm putting this on like a daylight, like see, I just have this on. See, that's daylight. That's way too. Look at this. That's kind of, that's too yellow. See. Good luck, Xavier. You got this, brother. You can do it, man. Anyways, my point being, I'm just changing the presets on my my camera setting. Ew, look at that. That's gross. That's gross too. Okay, I'm just gonna go with this one here. Night shift. Yeah, anyways, my point being, guys, with all this is the colors you see on camera, it doesn't actually look like in my head, I'm like, this looks way better in real life. And then you see it on camera. And same with this, like the colors are a lot more, this is way more green, I think, on camera than it is in real life. So it's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so let's put that aside for now. So now I got a delivery today. Pretty exciting. So we're gonna open it. So this is, you guys can guess what this is. You get some points, even though the points aren't worth anything. So I got these today. I did take a small look at them, but I didn't actually take them out of the package and like go through the models. So I thought we would do the unboxing live on camera today. So obviously with my Eldar army, one of the goals is I don't wanna, as much as I love the new stuff, I actually despise the fine cast. So my goal with this army is to not have any fine cast in it. What that means is that there's certain models that I'm not going to be able to really use, or I'm going to have to convert. And one of those is warp spiders. So I decided to order some warp spiders from Artel because I hear they're really fucking good in the new book. And so let's check them out. And keep in mind here, guys, I'm still waiting on my bases from Micro Art Studios, which are I think 28 mil bases. So let's check them out. All right, so what do we got? So we got some bases, which are kind of cute. These bases, if you look at them, they say Artel W on the bottom. Cool. But yeah, these are 25 mil bases, which are too small. I ordered an extra pack of female heads. Yeah, spectral spinners, whatever, man. So I'm actually this is actually stupid of me because I thought when I ordered the female heads that it'd be like female warp spider heads, but it's just like female Eldar heads. So, and I think they're all the same. I haven't really looked at them. So they look like they're basically the same. Just like basically ponytailed heads, which is cool, I guess. They don't really look like, I mean, they have long hair, but they're not really female. They just look like elves, I guess. So that's cool. Good quality so far. Okay, now I gotta get them back in here. Just the real. I will say though, the quality of these plastic bags, not great, not great. They're like very thin. They feel like you wouldn't want to put anything valuable in them because the bag would break. Okay, and then what do we have? Okay, so we have, I think each one of these is one model. So I'm kind of tempted to build one just so we can kind of see the quality. Let's see if I can find, this one looks cool, not too many pieces. I also assumed, oh no, I guess, how many did I order? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I think I ordered 11 plus a liter, maybe? This one has 2 torsos in it, which is weird. Oh no, maybe it's oh no, it does have 2 torsos in it. So is that just an extra bonus torso, or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11? I think I got 10 dudes plus a champion. That's weird that I got 11. So I guess we could build one just to see kind of how it is. Let me find one without a rocky base so that I can, a lot of them have these little like rocky bases, which I don't love. Okay, let's build this one. So I'm curious to see the scale of these as well. I also just sent off today to a local guy. So thank you, Dan Salmons. He sent me some 3D printing files for some alternative striking scorpions. So I'm excited. So those have been sent off. They should be ready next week. And I don't know when I'm gonna get my bases. Micro Art Studios is in Poland, same place as Cromlech, and Poland notoriously, I feel like, has the slowest. I don't know if it's like Air Poland or what's gonna happen, but I feel like they have notoriously slow mail. Like one time it took like, I don't know. I feel like it takes like 1,000 years to get something from Poland. Okay, so first I'm gonna just go quickly cut off all the gates. I've never used this resin before, but it's not too soft, not too hard. Like it doesn't feel brittle, which is nice. I'll leave that little peg on the base for the I can plug in the base. I'll leave that on as well. Oh, these must be to help. Does anyone know the base size of the new Aspect Warriors? Is it all 28s? Okay. All right. So let's see here. Any other pieces of flash? Not really. It's hard to see, but like quality's really sharp on everything. Right? Quality feels really good. I don't know if these are 3D printed or cast. I think they're cast because I definitely feel like I see a mold line. I think they're resin cast because they have gates too, right? But the cast quality seems really nice. I don't really notice any mold lines. There's just like very slight mold lines here, but not a lot. See here. What is that? I don't know if anyone else has ordered Artel stuff. I don't know. Some of it I like, some of it I don't. Some of their designs, they feel a little bit chunky. That's a good way to put it. And obviously, anytime you're using resin stuff, like the cast quality can be kind of hit or miss. I'm curious. If I'm gonna track down some really intense mold lines. So far, so good. Like very little mold lines. So far, just like a little bit. Nothing in like a crazy bad spot. These do feel a little bit detail heavy compared to say like the resin ones, but one of the things I have a problem with like a lot of the 3D prints is they're just too like overly like embellished, I guess. Like there's too much going on. These are fairly like I really didn't like their I think they had like some Howling Banshee equivalents. I thought they're a little bit over the top. Sometimes companies make these models and they're like, there's just so much shit going on and they feel like really busy. Like the stuff that Mini Wargaming is doing. It's just like so over the top busy. These are almost on the cusp of like too busy for me. I like like flat panels and like negative space. A, because I'm a lazy painter, but B, also because I like being able to like it gives you lots of opportunity to like highlight and like really just like push details and stuff. Whereas when there's a lot of detail, the detail kind of tends to, I don't know, take over, I guess. Okay. I don't know if any of you guys have had experience with this stuff. Hopefully the resin sticks together pretty well. So I think I can go feet first. It's always like a good idea. This is my official / non-official review of the RTLW spinners. That seems to go together really easily. Like very little gap, I guess. I just opened the super glue and like I always forget like how like super glue kind of loses a lot of its potency after a little while. But like, you know that feeling when you open like a fresh bottle of super glue and like everything sticks instantly, but then like you have an old bottle and it feels like you have to hold shit down together. Yeah, this is under 32 mil. Oh, this one's a female. That's cool. Lucky me. I think I ordered the females. I ordered 5 females, 5 males, I think. Because, you know, I'm an equal opportunity employer when it comes to my warriors, you know? I don't discriminate. Here. These ones are always tricky because you kind of do 3 points at once. But let me just see here. The nice thing is like the arms have like triangles where they're supposed to get the bit's supposed to go in. So like it kind of only goes in a certain way, right? Like it's not like it's just like a circle joint. There's a little triangle like that. And then that fit together really, really well, guys. That was like super painless. Get a head in there. Boom. All right, so I'm gonna actually, I was thinking of whether I put on the base or not. I guess just for the purposes of like posing it, I might put on the base. These are they're called Spectral Spinners from RTLW. They're like alternatives for warp spiders. They're resin ones. This is the first time actually, guys, I've ever bought like fully 3D alternate models. I've been a GW guy for so long, and if Games Workshop had actual warp spiders, I would buy them. But alas, Games Workshop sometimes makes oh, my head fell off. Shit. Games Workshop makes it hard to love them sometimes, and they won't release models. Just you know, let me glue it to the base first. I'm just gonna cut this off. I will glue it to this base just for like scale purposes, maybe just so you guys can kind of see. I'll just do a small dab. Obviously, I'm not going to use these bases. I'm waiting for my 28 mil bases from Micro Art. But I think I'm going to end up having to use these like rocks because... How does this go? So, is this supposed to be leaping off the rock? I guess so. Okay. Kinda cool. A little tiny dab. You know what the worst part about 25mm bases are, guys? They don't even fit in the paint holder. Games Workshop paint holder. Like they're too small. I don't know if that's a big deal, but it's kind of funny. Come on. Head back in. Alright, there we go. R12W Spectral Spinner. Kind of cool. So, in comparison to a Dire Avenger, a little small, I'd say. Like, considering the armor and stuff, they feel a little small. I think if I was like, if it was up to me, I'd get them maybe like 10% bigger. You know? What kind of bases are these? These are like even smaller than 25. Look at that. That's kind of the size difference. They're tiny. Oh no. Anyways, all right, so that's it for this guy. I'm just gonna leave the head off, guys, because it's gonna be a pain. So that'll go back in the box. So that's cool. So I got those. I'll let you guys know when I get my scorpions next, which should be next week sometime. But those will go on the Eldar shelf. Oh no, they're... Oh crap. Oh, they're dang. Alright, let's get into some painting. Also, guys. So, I have to tell you. I have been listening to Warhawk. Generally, I've been like a big Horus Heresy Siege of Terra guy. I've read all the books, listened to all the audios, whatever. And I've had Warhawk probably almost since it came out on audiobook, which was like, I don't know, 6 months at least. When did Warhawk come out? 2000 Audible release date 2001. No, that can't be right. That's 2 years ago. Warhawk didn't come out 2 years ago. That makes no sense. January, oh, 2000. That's 22 years ago. That doesn't make any sense at all. Anyone know when Warhawk by Chris Drake came out? Anyways, so I've had Warhawk for a very long time on Audible, and I've been starting it for a while, and then finally I was like, they obviously re-announced the new Horus Heresy book, Echoes of Eternity, and that's usually the impetus I get to finish the previous book. And I finally, because I've been painting so much the last few days, I was like, you know what? I think it's time to finish Warhawk. And so I've been listening to Warhawk, and I have to tell you, I only have, let me see here, because I was listening to it like literally right up. I have 1 hour and 45 minutes left, so I'm like almost at the very end, and it's really good so far. It's a little bit boring in a sense, because like plot wise, it feels like there's not much movement towards like the actual Siege of Terra, the advancement. Because if you guys have seen the cover for Warhawk, I'll throw it up on screen for you guys without spoiling anything. Let's see here. Oh, I'm a smart gem. Audible. Okay. So this is what the cover of Warhawk looks like. Okay. So it's basically Mortarion right here, Big Daddy Mo, and then the Khan charging up towards him. So obviously, there's a Khan Mortarion showdown. That's not a spoiler, it's on the cover. And I think if you read the blurb, let's see the book details. Let's see, book details. Okay, here's the blurb. The inner walls are breached, traitor vanguards tear towards the heart of the palace. Sensing victory, desperate gambits are attempted. An unwilling saint is released into the ruins, as well as an enthusiastic sinner. A black Sword rises, forged from spite, ready to create a legend. But amid the slaughter, Jagati Khan, Warhawk of Gregorius, prepared to launch the most audacious assault strike of the conflict. His goal is nothing less than the liberation of Lionsgate Spaceport. Okay, so that's the blurb of the book. So that's... I'm going to just talk about those parts, the things that are in the blurb, so I'm not going to say too much spoilery stuff. But basically, I'm at the part where Mortarion and I'm at the part where Mortarion and Khan are fighting, and it's pretty cool. It's a little bit like over the top. I mean, obviously any Primarch fight is over the top by nature, but this is like over the top by even Primarch on Primarch like status, if you ask me. It feels like, you know, like and also like I get the stories about the Lionsgate Spaceport, but like that's really all it's about. And so it doesn't feel like each of the books so far, like Solar War or like Saturnine, it felt like the walls were literally closing in on the Emperor and to like the final book, right? Which is only 2 more books. And so each book, it felt like we were getting closer and closer to the palace, closer and closer to that final confrontation between Horus and the Emperor. This one, because it's like kind of the opposite, like he's actually attacking the spaceport. It says it in the blurb. It's not a spoiler. It kind of feels like nothing really happens as far as like getting towards that. Like it feels like the pieces are kind of still while he does this part. And in that sense, it doesn't feel like much is happening. And obviously I know, if you're a 40k fan, we all know Khan doesn't die in this because we know that the Khan survives to the Sundering. And obviously Mortarion doesn't die because he's immortal. So in that sense, that's like kind of like, it's like in the end, I haven't finished it yet. I still have an hour and 45 to go. Hey Shadiza, what's going on, man? I still have an hour and 45 to go. But in a sense, it feels like I'm already like a little bit sad that like not much is gonna happen, because I know like it's kind of like a foregone conclusion, I guess, the ending, right? Because we know that Mortarion's gonna live, we know that the Khan's gonna live, and the attack on the Lionsgate Spaceport, whether it's successful or not, I don't know yet. I haven't gotten to that part. It doesn't really matter because we all know that they end up sieging the tower, the palace, and getting towards the palace. And like that's really what I want to start reading about, is like those things. But instead it kind of feels like it's a bit backwards. I don't know if I'm being nitpicky, but so far there's like some cool stuff that's happened that doesn't make sense, and I'm sure they'll explain it at some point. Can I show my finished figure on your Dizzy? Does Dizzy mean Discord? I mean, yeah, the Discord is open for anyone. If you want to post stuff in Discord, there's a hobby channel there. You're more than welcome to join it and for your photos in there. Or I'll check it out after my stream. Okay, so what am I gonna do? All right, so next we're gonna go into some. Anyways, I guess that's, maybe I'm being a bit nitpicky here, but it kind of feels so far that like there's this fight between Mortarion and like the Khan, and it's cool so far, but it's like it's been going on for like a chapter. It's like a chapter of fighting, and it's just like so, it's like just it's like too much. Like everything is like, it reminds me of reading if you guys read Mortis, I think, where it was like every 5 minutes it was like world ending, apocalyptic, city killing weapons, and then like the next Titan Legion out of the blue would come along, and it's like civilization ending, like doom killing, planet leveling, like everything. It just feels like, it feels like language porn, like destruction language porn, if that makes sense, where it's like, how many ways can we just describe the end of civilization and the end of worlds? And this book Warhawk with is like kind of similar in that sense. It reminds me of that, where it's like, how many times can we describe how fast the Primarchs are while they fight? How many times can we describe how like much will they have? Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, so the Khan and the Mortarion are fighting, and it's like, how much can we describe how much beatings they can take and still keep going? Like, that's literally it. It's like, it reminds me of like, it's like there's a point where like, okay, like you've just described him literally dying 30 times, but not, because he somehow still keeps going and still keeps fighting. And he's on his, and I'm not gonna say who or what, but he's on his like last day, like the dying breath of this guy, but still he keeps going and he's going and going for another like fucking 5 minutes. It's like, okay, like at some point it gets kind of like it feels like you're just bullshitting basically, and it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, I don't know if anyone else has read it and understands what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly, John Palms. It's like exactly like that. It's like literally like they're fighting, and again, I don't want to spoil too much, but like it's like each combatant basically kills the other, but then they find a last thing of strength and kill the other, who then finds a last thing of strength and kills the other. And like the language is such a way where it's like, okay, this has got to be it. Like I just read how like destroyed this guy is, how like he's literally like his soul is like leaving his body. That's how dead he is, because he's been beaten up so bad. But somehow he finds more and does the same to the other guy, and then the other guy does the same thing and goes back, and it's like back and forth for like so much. And then the whole thing is like, oh, they were all just toying with each other. So the whole thing up to everything you've just read was just them toying with each other, and now the real fight begins, and you're like, wait, what? Like it's like it's so over the top, and I love it because it's like look, I'm not expecting like fucking War and Peace here or like some fucking literary masterpiece, but sometimes it feels like filler. Like the fights are like, I'd much rather have cool plot advancement. Sometimes it just feels like they're just like, it's almost like yeah, exactly. Like, you know how we talk about like Bolter porn, where it's like there's this one segment in the book where they're describing like how like the Death Guard are in it, obviously, because Mortarion, and they're describing like how fucked up the Death Guard are now, like that they're like all corrupted by Nurgle. And it goes on and on with the pustules and the scabs and the stench and the vomit and the shit and the diarrhea and the goo and the ooze and the viruses and the flies, and it's like, okay, man, we get it. Death Guard, they fuck, man, they get it. Like it just goes on and on and on, and the words are like it's so wordy and so descriptive, and you're like, okay, like I'm grossed out, but and I you know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm not saying don't read it. Definitely read it if you're like into that stuff. But it's like there's a point where it kind of becomes like it's a bit of a farce. Well, the whole thing's a farce, I guess. And the thing is, like, I guess the worst part is, especially with like this specific fight, is because I know they're both gonna live, and that's like known. I'm just waiting for like what ridiculous like Deus Ex Machina that Arthur introduces to save one or the other. Like I'm just waiting for it. I'm like, okay, is this the part where like the thing that when the guy on the 7th time he's on his final deathbed and he's about to finally die, now this is where he gets saved? Or is there like 3 more fake deaths before the like where he's saved? Or is like this where he's saved? Like at what point does he get saved? Like how many more fake deaths and like fights to the very last bit of his energy? How many more like I guess health bars does he have before he gets saved, right? Because you know he's gonna get saved. Yeah, the Nurglings are funny because like they fart and like they're just kind of gross. But yeah. there is some cool stuff that's happened. Like, don't get me wrong, the book's cool because it does fill in some backstory. I particularly like, and again, minor spoilers if you haven't read any of the Horus Heresy stuff, but there's a character called there's two sorry, I'm just turning up my pressure on my airbrush. There's two what are they called, perpetuals in it, Drawing Grammaticus and Alinnius, and I actually really like their story because it's kind of like it's kind of like a side story within like the larger heresy, and I'm interested to see where that goes. So if you guys are wondering what I'm doing, rather than doing like some crazy panel airbrush, I think we decided on stream yesterday we're gonna do like a larger blend airbrush, where I basically do a whole gradient across the whole airbrush. Sorry, I do a gradient across the whole tank rather than just the like individual panels. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So instead of it being like each panel is going to be highlighted, it's going to be like a gradient from the back to the front. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, if you're wondering. Some of you know that already because you were here yesterday. Anyways, so far I'm going to be glad to finish it. I think I'm going to, after this, so I have in my Audible queue. What do I have? My library that's unread. Guess I'm happy. I don't want to read it. Get out of here. Let's see. Sort by unfinished. Filters. Titles tagged as not finished. Okay, so after this, I have Godblight to read still. I have Luther First the Fallen to read. 2 of the Armin novels. The entire Fabius Bile trilogy. Clone Lord, Manflayer, and Primogenitor. And then I have, so those are the 40k novels that I still have, and I have, I think, 3 credits still. So, let me know what do you guys think I should read next. If there's anything there that sticks out to you. Fabius Bile trilogy. Yeah, maybe I'll check that out next. Thanks, James, for the reco. The reason I even picked up the Fabius Bile trilogy is because I originally wasn't going to read it. I've never been a huge fan of Fabius Bile, to be honest. He was always like a little bit too creepy for me. But I recently read Fulgrim, the Primarch novel, and he's actually featured pretty heavily in it. Like, you kind of see a little bit of his origin story. And after reading that, I was like, huh, Fabius Bile's kind of cool. He's kind of a cool dude. Like, he's got some shit going on, you know? So that kind of interested me to maybe check it out. And I had like a bunch of Audible credits, basically, like, because I have a subscription, but I'm definitely like, as I mentioned, like, I've been sitting on Warhawk, because I haven't been listening to a ton of audiobooks lately. When I paint, usually I've been either not painting because I haven't been inspired, or I've been like watching the YouTubes or something, or movies or something like that. I've been listening to a ton of audiobooks. Yeah, I guess he is a kind of an anti-hero. Also, like, I'm interested more here in story because whenever he's portrayed in like Chaos Space Marine lore, he's just like a bit of a creepy, like, and he's always like fucking people over, right? Because he's a bad dude, right? And so I'm interested to kind of hear. Fulgrim actually made me a bit more interested in his like learning about him, because like you start to feel a little bit more sympathy for like his, like, why he's such a loser and loner. So Fulgrim kind of gave me this like I guess desire to like learn about him a bit more. Yeah. Yeah, Max Zucker. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got too many. I mean, those are just the 40K books I haven't read. Right now I have 4 credits available. Shit, I should go spend them. And I have probably 20 books in my Audible library that I haven't read. Fulgrim made me way more interested in Emperor's. Yeah, I mean that's always the idea, right, of these books. I have to say though, I don't know if you guys have the Armin audiobooks. The story I actually didn't mind, but who's the Mark Elstob? I think he's the narrator. I really didn't like I really don't like his narration. I don't know if I'm just spoiled from Jonathan Keeble from all the Horus Heresy books, but like some of the narrators, who was it? Jonathan Keeble is like the king, right? Andrew Wincott, who did all the Soul Hunter books, I didn't mind. But the guy that did the first Armin book, who is it? Mark Elstob. I really didn't like his narration. I felt it was like, I don't know, there's something about like, you gotta vibe with the narrator, you know what I'm saying? Dark Imperium, is that the first one? That's the first one in the trilogy, right, James? Yeah, so I read that originally when it came out, and I'm actually really upset about the retcon. I don't know if you're reading like the recent version, I guess, but they obviously did a big retcon with the timeline, and that actually really bothered me, because one of the things I thought was really cool about when they actually did the like switch to 9th edition or whatever, or 8th edition, and they did the Imperium Secundus or whatever, was the time jump. I thought that was like really, like, I guess, bold of them to do something like that, and I was just really sad that they kind of retconned that. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. So basically pure yellow SH. So I do think, guys, I am liking this like single fade, but I definitely think I need to do something else to the tank to keep it a little bit, I guess. Oh, maybe they added that in. So basically, from what I understand, the original first 2 Dark Imperium books were set basically 200 years ahead of the current, like the last timeline, like the 13th Black Crusade, basically. And then they retconned it in the newest like editions, because they like reprinted them when Godlight came out, which is the one I haven't listened to. and they basically were like, oh yeah, now it's only like 20 years after the 13th Black Crusade, because I guess they wanted to basically be able to go back and tell the whole story of the like and then so they like changed like a lot of the timelines, like some of the bigger events in which I didn't like, because I like the idea that the like a lot of stuff happened after the 13th Black Crusade, whereas now it just feels like, you know, next week, right? I don't know your thoughts on that, but I don't know if they, and then when they did the reprints or the reissues, I know they did make some changes to the books. Obviously, it bring it in line with the new updated timeline. But I'm curious if they like maybe slipped in a few paragraphs, and to kind of address the time like changes that they made. They went back on the whole idea. No, so they didn't really go back on it. So originally, from what I understand, well, not from what I understand, what I know is originally the Indominus Crusade wasn't a thing that was currently happening. It was something basically Gilliman already had done when 8th edition came out. So there's a 13th Black Crusade, Imperium gets like sundered, and then the Indominus Crusade is like happened already. It's like over. But then I guess Games Workshop was like, well, we want to go and like milk that. And so they went back and they basically retconned the timeline so that the current time was like just like the start of the Indominus Crusade, rather than it already being over, which I thought was kind of lame. It's really bright on camera. Let me see if I can turn it down. Anyways, I didn't really like that because it just felt... I hate retcons. And I know Games Workshop is like obviously guilty of it a lot. Like especially when you consider like literally the entire Eye of Terror campaign from 2000 let's see here. Oh, that's too dark. You can at least see the color. They basically retcon the entire Terror campaign, right? I remember fighting him that the first time. So that's the blend. I think I'm gonna go a bit more into the mid-tone, a bit brighter. Now that I've gone that bright on the tips. But yeah, anyways, so I do want to read Godblight because technically it is like current era, and so I'm curious as to see if like anything interesting is happening, because one of my biggest problems with the 40k lore, I guess, and why I'm kind of sad about this whole Indominus thing is like originally when they did this whole Indominus thing and the 13th Black Crusade for 8th edition, or from 7th to 8th, like they did all that stuff, it kind of showed, they're like, it's like, oh, Games Workshop actually has the guts to like move the storyline a little bit. Like they're not scared to actually like advance the timeline a little bit, right? Like that's what it showed. But then they like didn't, because then they go and retcon it all. So it's kind of upsetting in that sense, where it's like they finally showed the guts to like advance the storyline a bit, and that gave me like hope that, oh well, maybe in the future we're gonna get some like other cool storyline advancements, right? But now we're kind of back to where we were, where 40k was kind of, remember how like 40k was basically stagnant lore wise for like 30 years, whereas basically 13th Black Crusade is coming, And that was basically going on for like so long. Well, now we're kind of back there, right? Like the 13th Black Crusade has happened. And it's like, okay, well, what's the next big thing, right? It's not really clear if they're gonna like, now are we gonna wait another 20 years for them to like move the storyline again? You know what I'm saying? So it'd be kind of sad if like we don't really get any real storyline advancement. And the codex is like, even the last, I don't know what the last codex was. I think it was Custodes. But oftentimes the codexes do have like a little bit of storyline, like I guess advancement in them. Like they'll have some like hooks maybe for like things that are kind of happening in the galaxy. I know they did that obviously with Psychic Awakening, but like if you think about Psychic Awakening is a perfect example, right? So they did Vigilus, right? And I guess in the end, Vigilus, nothing really happened. Like Chaos got beat back, Imperium kind of won, but that's kind of it, right? Like not much else happened. And then they did this whole thing, Psychic Awakening. Oh guys, Psychic Awakening, Psychic Awakening. Well, like if you think about it, what was the ultimate outcome of Psychic Awakening? Like what was awakened, and what was the final change in like the galaxy? There was literally nothing. Like the background didn't change, nothing really changed as far as like the lore. There's all this like hype on the Psychic Awakening, but like what did anything actually get awakened? You know what I'm saying? I don't remember. It did. Shit. So it's kind of lame in that sense, where like nothing really happens, which I should be used to by now. But I guess Indominus gave me hope that yeah, but like they like came out with like 12, how many Psychic Awakening books were there? There's 8 books or something crazy like that, and at the end of it, like literally like nothing had happened. So it was like, what was, I thought maybe like it would be like an actual cool thing. Like, well, we had a Necrons came. The one non-psychic race awakened. So it's like, it's kind of silly even when you think about it that way, right? Like the only thing that happened from Psychic Awakening is a non-psychic race was awakened. So they should have called it non-psychic awakening. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of silly when you think about it. Why they even called it Psychic Awakening in the first place? Like, what did we need all those books for? Yeah, the Gaz, it gave an excuse to like kill Gaz and kill Ragnar and then bring them back in the exact same book. They didn't even wait a book. They're like, you're both dead, but then actually you're both alive. Pretty like stupid. We got Fade. I haven't actually looked at it, man. I traded it away without even opening it. I don't think people are complaining about the model. I think the base, most people I've heard complaining about, it's like the base. I think the base is silly. Alright, there we go, guys. A little fade. I would have rather them not done that, like, and just gone for like a... Okay, let me see how it matches up with the top piece. kind of close, right? I think it'll look sharp with the bone, right? Once it's all done. I do think it's gonna definitely need some things. Like I'm gonna do the that's kind of the vibe, right? So I'm thinking I'm definitely gonna do obviously some transfers. I'm definitely gonna do the gems. The canopy, I think I'm gonna do the blue that I have in the army. And then obviously the like, so these things here will be bone, but the little globes will probably be, actually I'll probably do the globes will probably be the kind of grayish color. I'm gonna do quickly though, what I'm gonna do here, it's very rare, I don't often do this, but I'm going to, is I'm gonna just do a quick varnish coat on this because I'm just worried I'm gonna destroy the airbrush layer. I'm gonna like, rub it off. I don't very often varnish models when they're work in progress, but like with big vehicles and stuff like this where I'm gonna probably be handling it a lot. And I know the airbrush is like the layers are super thin. I will go in with like a little bit of varnish and I'll probably just airbrush it. Eldar, yeah, man. I'm an Eldar guy. I'm an Eldar player now. What do you think, my friend? What do you mean Eldar? People are all surprised. Probably wearing masks when I varnish, but YOLO. Don't just at home, kids. Yeah, everyone's mad at me, guys. I get it. Everyone wants me just to play Chaos forever. Never see other people. Never play any other armies. And just play Chaos basically for the rest of my life. I get it. Trust me, I get a comment like that once a week on my Instagram. Aren't you playing Chaos? What happened to Chaos? You know, I'm not the only. You know, most people in 40K don't just play one army, guys. Everyone hates Eldar, but they're so pretty. Alright, so I think that's it for airbrushing. We'll let that dry a little bit. I mean, they're cool, but not good, I guess, is what I think. Death Guard are in a very bad place right now. Given the, they just had some recent point hikes for all their good stuff. I think the army itself is too slow. There's not enough speed in it and not enough defense. So they're supposed to be the kings of defense, but most of their stratagems are about offense. It's like giving out mortal wounds, giving out stuff like that. They can't really burst damage or do a lot of damage Yeah, they feel like an old edition book already. Fortunately. While this dries, I'm gonna do a little bit more work on the bottom half. So, what do you guys think? Do you think I should do? I think I'm gonna actually probably leave this top half to dry for a full day. Maybe give it another varnish coat. I'm just really worried. This blend, like to achieve that blend so smooth, the paints are super thin, right? Because you're basically putting spraying water on there. And one mistake that often gets made when people are doing like this kind of airbrushing is like you'll want to jump straight into painting the model. And acrylic paint, even though sometimes it can seem dry, it can take like quite a while to actually set and fully cure. So I think rather than trying to rush into this painting, I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna work on the bottom a little bit, which is like out here, and then come back to this guy tomorrow when we paint, or in the day. I'm just worried if I try to start to paint this right now, it's gonna kind of smudge and let me pull it off the... Yeah, I don't think Death Guard's very good right now, John. Sorry. I wish they were, because I do really like Death Guard. But they're just not very good. Anyways, that's kind of... I don't know how we got into the concept of Warhawk, but... I'm excited for Echoes of Imperium, and then I assume Dan Anwit's gonna write the last book. So that'll be cool. He's a good writer, and I think he's the right guy to finish it. I'm just like... It's crazy how many books there's been in the series when you think about it. Especially a series you know how it's gonna end, right? I don't understand why they had to do like a whole different... Like, for me, it's all the same. Like, it's not a separate series, I guess. I guess what they're trying to do is like... I guess what they're trying to do is like... not have people intimidated by like the 53 books. But for me, like, Siege of Terra is... The Horse Heresy, it just seems kind of all the same, you know? I think the worst book for me, Lou, was fucking Damnation of Pythos. I think that was the book that... See, I didn't mind Furious Abyss because I actually thought the ship, the Furious Abyss, like the whole thing, like the whole point of the Furious Abyss, like that's the secret ship that the Dark Mechanicum built for Horus or for Lorgar, whatever, kind of in secret, and it was like this huge kind of crazy project. I actually think that's kind of cool. Damn it, and like there's actually like it's obviously like a precursor to Betrayal. I think it's called Mark of Calth, or Betrayal at Calth, or whatever. The one where they basically invade Calth. So it feels like it actually goes somewhere, and there's like some point to the book. A way worse book is fucking Damnation of Pythos, which seems to like really have no point because it's just like Marines fighting with dinosaurs on a planet, and then in the end, like, that's literally like the end. Like, there's nothing really that happens except the Marines fight dinosaurs. But for me, Damnation of Pythos is a much worse book, I guess. I'm just gonna wash my hands, guys, because otherwise I'm gonna get paint all over this model, so I'll be right back. Oh, Ben Counter. Ben Counter wrote the Soul Drinkers though, didn't he? I think Ben Counter wrote the Soul Drinkers, didn't he? Or am I mistaking him for someone else? Pretty sure he did Soul Drinkers. I think those were his first books for GW. I like Abnett, and obviously Eisenhorn is one of my favorites. I wouldn't say he's a god though. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think any of the Black Library authors are like that, like amazing. I really love I just like, yeah, the Eisenhorn trilogy. So even though I've read the books and I own the books from like 20 years ago, I repurchased it on Audible because I had all those credits, right? And I was like, oh, I'll re-listen to. Actually, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll use my credits to repurchase the Ravener trilogy, because I basically repurchased Xenostraticus and Malleus, and those books like still slap. Those books are still fucking amazing, right? And I obviously just also picked up Penitent and Pariah when those came out, which are also fucking amazing books. But I haven't re-listened to the Ravener trilogy, or I haven't done the Ravener trilogy since I read the paperbacks when they came out, like fucking 20 years ago or 15 years ago, whatever. So maybe I'll use my credits and repurchase that and pick up the Ravener trilogy on audiobook. I always really like Ravener. Yeah. You know what really makes me sad though? And this is like something that's like, you kind of think about and you're like, oh yeah. You're like, that is really sad. So like, I don't know about you guys, but like, for me, one of the cool parts about stories that are ongoing, so I'll use Gaunt's Ghosts as an example. I haven't actually read any of the Gaunt's Ghosts. I don't know if you guys have. Maybe that's what I should pick up. I've never read any of the Gaunt's Ghost books because I don't know. I just never was really interested in like I was never super interested in like a bunch of fucking random guardsmen. I know it's Abnett and he's good and whatever, but I don't know. There's something about like, it just didn't really interest me. But I guess what I was gonna say is like, anytime you have a series where there's like an ongoing, storyline where there's like new books coming out, in your head you're like, oh, this is cool because like there's these characters in this book, and I'm excited to hear about what these characters do next and kind of what happens to these characters, and like obviously like the story of these characters, right? Like you do that with almost every book you read. But with the Eisenhorn, the one thing that like I realized recently that like really made me sad, as I was reading Penitent, I think, or Pariah, or one of them, is that the time that it takes place, so like when in the 41st, so like there's a huge revelation at the end of Penitent. I won't spoil it, and for those of you that read Penitent, you know what I'm talking about, right? So there's a huge revelation at the end of the book that's like massive, right? It's like a fucking crazy giant, oh my god, what the fuck thing that like they reveal, and you get excited about it, right? Because you're like, oh, this is gonna have a huge amount of implications for the larger 40k universe. Like, I can't believe this is a thing. But then, to kind of circle my point, what you forget is that the whole storyline of Eisenhorn and Penitent and Ravener are set like 400 years before current era 40k. So even though the spoiler at the end of Pariah is like one of those holy shit, oh my god moments, if you look at the timeline, like the dates in the millennium that it's happening, it's like 400 years before the 13th Black Crusade. So in a way, even though like, what that means is two things. A, it kind of makes you sad because it's this crazy giant spoiler, and you're like, I wonder what kind of implications this have for the 40k universe as a whole, larger. And you're like, well, it didn't, because we're in that era and I have never heard of this happening before.
And B, you get kind of sad because you're like, well, that must mean that all these characters like Eisenhorn and Ravener and like they're all dead, right? They've died 100 years ago, which is kind of sad too, right? So I don't know. It's kind of bittersweet, I guess, in a sense, because there's these characters that like you really care about and like they're already like gone, and they don't exist anymore, and you know that. And like I don't know, that kind of hit me when I realized like what timeline these things take place in, and it was a little bit like, I guess, upsetting and bittersweet in a way. I don't know if you guys are feeling me there, but my favorite by far though, and I'm gonna slightly spoil it, but like the parade on Thracian Primus in Malleus. Malleus is the second one, right? Xenos Malleus Redicus is still by far my favorite scene in like any 40k like fiction. Like I remember reading that scene. I think I was like I don't know. I think I was like 16 or 17 when I read Malleus, like when it came out. And I remember reading that scene, the parade on Thracian Primus. I won't say much more that happens. If you guys read Eisenhorn, you'll know. And just being like, oh my god, this is like so fucked, but also like so amazing. And it's such a huge, like, it's such a crazy like moment and like big moment in the story. And obviously leads to like so many repercussions, like Ravener, right? Being the person he is. But like when you actually read it on the paper, yeah, I know you can do that, Chris Cole, but my point is you're not like timeline accurate. I mean, you can still play like, I don't know if you can still do it, but Solar Macarius, who's like I don't know if there's still rules for him that are current, but you can use him. And also like someone like if you think about it, someone like what's his name? What's the commissar? Yarick? He's like, you know, if the timeline was where it currently is, he's like 300 years old, right? In the timeline. Because the third war for Armageddon was like so long ago, right? But like the thing is they don't write stories about Commissar Yarick. There's no novel, there's not like a big ongoing storyline with Commissar Yarick that you've been following for all these years. And then you find out, oh, he's actually been dead, and like we don't know, like we never heard of him. With Eisenhorn and those guys, there's actually like some pretty big reveals there that feel like if they'd happened in current era 40k, like think about it, Indominus Crusade and then the Yellow King, like imagine those things like merged, right? Like that would be such a like, and I don't know what's gonna obviously happen with the Yellow King. I won't, you guys will know who the Yellow King is, but like imagine that was in current era and like Roboot meets the Yellow King, right? And like the Yellow King comes and is like operating in current era 40k. Like that would be fucking really cool. But you know that's not the case because the book is, you know, it's 400 years like since I think there's actually even I don't remember where I saw the timeline, but I definitely remember reading like Inquisitor Eisenhorn, like either something happens, there's like a reference to Eisenhorn and it's like 400 years like pre current era. Yeah, I was just using it as an example, John, right? Because most of the other characters in the lore, they don't really have age. Like, only the human characters can really like age out. Obviously, like I wasn't gonna be like, oh yeah, because this one Dark Eldar character is alive for all these years. It's like, well, Eldar live forever, Necrons live forever, Turns could potentially live forever, Orcs could potentially live forever. There's no real age there. The only ones that I have reference points for, any Space Marine characters basically can live forever. But the only ones that I really have reference for like could potentially die from old age are human characters. So that's why I just used him. But there's definitely other characters that are like that, right? Oh no, I know you're just fucking around, man. Yeah, no, and don't get me wrong, Lou. If Eisenhorn like rolls out in current era 40k, like super like basically just a fucking marionette that's like propelled by his own like what's the book he's got? He's got that crazy book, the Codex or whatever, with like the
it's like got like a Nuncia in it, or it's got that crazy language in it. And he said he destroys it. It's supposed to be the main plot of Xenos. It's like that crazy book. If he like rolls out in like current era 40k, like basically like animated purely by like Enuncia and like this like creepy like demon magics that he's accumulated, and he's like been alive for 500 years, and he's like, and Shrubel's there kind of fucking holding him up on the Necronomicon, yeah, and Shrubel's there holding him up like a fucking thing. I would love it, don't get me wrong. I'd be like, yes, I'd be like, amazing, right? I'm not saying that like I wouldn't want that, and that I just don't think that's a thing. I think I did read somewhere like the last sighting of him was like 400 years ago or something like that. So yeah, do I think he's still operating in the Imperium as an Inquisitor? Probably not. Do I think he's got a demon host as an ally and like all sorts of like black magics that could keep him alive? Sure. I do know Ravener, I'm pretty sure, has died in the fluff. Ravener here. Ravener. Gideon, I love his name too, Gideon Ravener. What a great name. Okay, we're gonna go into spoiler territory, guys. Gideon, let's see Gideon, what's going on, Gideon? Gideon Ravener. Alright, here we go, guys. So, Creation Primacy, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so it even says in the thing, it says, despite Ravener's success in dealing with numerous xenoteric and demonic threats to the Imperium, he was best remembered for his philosophical writings, including the Spheres of Longing, for centuries after his death. Right? So, like, it's already, like, here it says, I won't read too much, I don't want to spoil too much, but basically, it doesn't say when he dies. Inquisitorial career. Blah, blah, blah. Try not to spoil too much. Yeah, so he's definitely been killed. I guess that's, in Gaunt's Ghost, maybe they mention it. Person only. See if Eisenhorn is dead. The Necrotech. The Necrotech. That's what it's called. It doesn't actually say what happened to him. So here's her. So he was a renowned Inquisitor active during the 3rd and 4th centuries of M41. So if you look at the M41 timeline, I think. This little timeline. Come on. Let's go. I'm slow as fuck. Okay, so here we go. The 3rd and 4th centuries are here. So this is when Gideon Ravener is like operating, like near the middle of the 41st millennium, but we're like here, right? We're here, right? Like 13th Black Crusade, all the current shit, right? This is the Psychic Awakening. So we're like 500 years after Gideon Ravener has done his thing, which is the sad part, is all I'm saying. That's kind of my point, I guess. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Obviously, I do want him to... I want some flex who got the hookup. Well... No, they had existed. They're just... they've been around for a while, the Red Corsairs. So the Badab War is when the Red Corsairs made their... Oh, sorry, you can't see this. The Badab War is when they made their... which is a long time ago. The Badab War started in...
the early part of the 900th. Oh, I guess you're actually right, because this happened in 901 and 912. So it's the 9th century of the 41st millennium. And Ravener and Eisenhorn happened in the 400s. So even 500 years before the Badab War, that's when Eisenhorn and co were hanging out, right? I assume, Lex, this is pretty accurate for the most part. Like, it's very... These guys are all super nerds. I'm curious if we're going to get a new Huron Blackheart model. I've heard some rumors, but I always like the red Corsair's color scheme though. The red with the black armor actually looks really sharp. I converted a Huron from an Abaddon. I think if I do another Chaos Legion, it'll be either red Corsairs, like similar, or it'll be if not Emperor's Children, like it'll be like Alpha Legion something. This is the annoying part about painting this. I want to put my fingers on it, like brace it, but it's like, I don't want to... Nope. I don't want to smudge it. But... Anyways. I don't know if you've read Lou, have you read the Night Haunter trilogy? Am I doing this right? Okay. It's weird painting gems upside down because I'm like, am I highlighting this right? Yeah, the 80 ones. ADB is definitely my favorite. Yeah, he's definitely my favorite like writer of Chaos. I'm really excited for the next Talon of Horus series. I just think he writes Chaos with like a good amount of like not humanity, so to speak, but like they're actually like this is like, I'm torn. I'm like, do I just do like a little bit basic highlight on these gems? Like, not much more than that, right? Because they're underneath gems. He actually writes them with like, I guess, complex is what I'm looking for, which I like. But I actually originally it took me a little while to get into the Night Hunter, the Night Lords trilogy, because I think the Night Lords are like one of those chapters where it's like, Night Lords is one of those chapters where it's kind of like chicken and the egg, where it's like they never really write about them or talk about them. They're kind of like, and so like no one really plays them, and then because no one really plays them, like they don't really write about them and talk about them. I do really feel that like ADB really like made Night Lords like cool. And the thing I liked about the trilogy, the Night Lords trilogy, was like obviously there's like a bunch of cameos in it, which I kind of like. Like obviously there's a ton of cameos. Obviously I won't say who. I don't want to spoil it too much. You know who I'm talking about, but there's a veritable cast of Chaos characters from the books that show up to like hang out with the main character. And it tells a cool story from like a perspective that like I love the perspective that it's like you're kind of seeing the perspective from the slaves. I think that's like a really cool really cool like aspect, I guess. Yeah, I really like those books. Like it took me until basically the end of the first book or just the start of the second book to really get into it. I was kind of like, I was having difficulty getting through it at first because I don't know. As I said, like I don't particularly like the Night Lords as a chapter. And they're a little bit too like Freddy Krueger-ish, where sometimes they seem just like they just seem like cartoonishly evil. Yeah, that I like that too. The thing I don't like with the Night Lords always is like they seem like cartoonishly evil, and like I get it, like Night Hunter was a fucking psychopath, but like it never really made sense. Like, and I guess I get the Chaos Legions are evil and stuff, but like I don't know. Sometimes they seem a little bit over the top evil, to the point where you're like, okay, it's just grotesque. And they didn't seem to ever have like good motivations for anything. But I think reading those Night Hunter books, it really gave me like an appreciation for the Night Lords. Especially like I especially like the way that they see Conrad Cruz. Like they kind of hate him, right? Like they're he's their Primarch, and like obviously like their Gene Sire, but like you kind of get the sense that like the Night Lords kind of hate him. They hated him, and he was like worst father ever. You know what I'm saying? Like you never get this sense that they really liked him a lot, versus like some of the other legions that like really like their Primarchs. He just sounds like a fucking super shitty Primarch. Oh, dude, I hate Pharos, man. Is Pharos the one with that beacon thingy-majigger that lets them like communicate during the storm? That's the Pharos, right? Whatever became of that? Like it kind of felt like a weird subplot. All those Pharos books kind of felt I don't know, they kind of felt like they didn't end up going anywhere. Personally. Ah. Yeah, but did they ever explain where it comes from? Was it like the old ones? They never really explained the tech, I guess. Is that right? Did they actually say that somewhere, James? Like, is that in one of the books? Or did I just miss that? Like, is that in like the Tyranid book, or is that actually in Pharos and I just forgot about it and I didn't catch it? Like, where do you learn about that, the Pharaoh stuff? There we go, a few gems. Quick and easy. Okay, and then I think for the front gem, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I forgot about I wonder if they'll ever do like explore that era a bit more, like the War in Heaven and stuff. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the red gems, and I think for these ones, since they're underneath, I'm just gonna do a touch of Scarlet. Like this is like my struggle. There's these like red gems underneath. I'm just gonna kind of do this, like one little bit of highlight, and like my temptation is to like paint them like actual gems, but they're underneath, so it's like, why would they be painted? Why would they'd be dull? So if you're looking at this from underneath, the gems underneath would be kind of dull and like dark, right? Same with these ones. That's why I kind of left them dark. But that's like my struggle, because like then it feels unfinished, I guess. Why do they have to have gems on the bottom anyways? Makes sense. Oh, okay. Maybe I skipped that part since I listened to the audiobook. Okay, so now what I want to do is, that's basically the bottom. I'm not going to paint any more there. I'm going to paint the top. Highlights. Oh. That, I want the base. The gray. I will. That's the thing. Even if I don't see it, I'll know. And if it's not painted, if I do a rush job on the bottom because no one's gonna see it, it'll bother me. Which is like, who counts? Who's the only person that matters, right? In the end, is like how I feel. I was having this conversation with David Koska. We're both like we've both done paint judging before, and like people get really mad at us when we do paint judging because like we pick up models, we like look really closely at them, we examine them like really closely, like more so than I'd say like 95% of not paint judges in competitions. Obviously in competitions is one thing, but like when you go to like say like a tournament and you do like best army stuff, me and David are like we're really like, I guess strict judges. Strict is not the right word, but we're just very detailed, and people get really mad at us because like they're like, what do you mean like the belt buckles or the eyes or like on like the 90th cultist or the 90th gaunt is not painted? Like I check that shit, and like David checks that shit, but like most people just look at it from like 3 feet, whereas like I'll actually pick up the models and like look at them really closely to see like if those details have been done. And people always get upset because they're like, you're being too nitpicky. Which is, I guess, a fair critique. That's kind of one of the problems with painting with sub-assemblies. That's why I usually don't finish models in sub-assemblies either. I kind of get them started and do the parts that I think I need, I wanted to paint in sub-assemblies, and then I assemble, because I do have a tendency to like overpaint stuff that's never going to be seen because it's accessible, even if it's not visible, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It was a really hard habit to break, to like not paint things that like no one can see. Like even now I'm painting these like vents, I'm highlighting here, but I'm pretty sure when the top's on, like you can't really even see this part. You know what I'm saying? But I know, and that's enough. Exactly. Like I know every eye that I did or didn't paint, or every shortcut that I did or didn't take. Even here, like these little highlights, like this is basically going to be underneath. It's going to be underneath like this, the canopy, right? You're not even really see it, but I know it's going to be there. So I'm highlighting it. I'm not going to do the engines right now, or I might just do the backs of the engines, I guess, but oh shit. Like this stuff you'll see for sure. I just realized there's a gem, 2 gems here I didn't paint. Grab quickly. I'll do that one red because I'm lazy. And that one too. Is that a gem? Sure, why not? I have 2 of them and it's still in sprue. I'm trying really hard not to like build it. I have this rule, I think I mentioned it, where like I don't I won't build something. I only have like 1 project on the go that I'm painting and then like 1 next project. Right now my next project I actually don't have. It'll probably be, the problem is I'm waiting on my bases still. So until the bases are here, after this, I mean, I guess I could paint it without the base. I have a Jane's R. I have the warp spider thingies. What do you think I should paint next? I have the warp spiders, those, right? I have 2 boxes of scouts. I have 2 units of scouts. Hey, Fetting, what's going on? I have 2 boxes of scouts, 2 units of the Shroud Runners, 2 Artarks. I have 2 Night Spinners. I have Jane's R, and then I have those warp spiders. So that's kind of what I have right now. That's like unpainted. I'm not sure what I want to paint next because besides the tanks, I don't have any bases for any of the other stuff right now. And I don't really want to do 2 more tanks back to back after I just did this one because this was like a good learning tank. And I'm definitely going to apply some of these learnings to like the Night Spinners. Because they're just too similar. I like to kind of break it up. But I'm curious, what do you think I should paint? I kind of want to do a unit. I'm thinking maybe I'll do a unit of scouts and just rebase them later. Because I feel like this is a single model. So I like to break it up, like 1 single model, 1 character, or 1 whatever else. Rather than doing like all tanks and then like all single models and then like all troops. You know what I'm saying? I think I'll do the scouts next. That'll probably be my next project because I do want to crack open that. I do want to crack open the Dark Eldritch Omens box or whatever it's called, and get into that stuff. And also, I think the scouts would be a good exercise in like the patterning. I had this big conversation yesterday about like what I should do as far as like camo or the cloaks. I'm kind of torn. What do you guys think I should do for the cloaks? So my original thought, I don't want to do camo because I think camo and Eldara is silly because they're like, especially like desert camo or like jungle camo. So I'm thinking I want to do something that kind of looks like either I almost want to do like a color shift, not like color shifting paints, but like a color shift. Like I'll color shift it between like 2 or 3 different colors, like really intense in a really small area. I think that could look cool. Almost like the reminds me of like the cloaks from Lord of the Rings. You know how they're that kind of that gray, and then like they kind of blend in. They kind of adopt the color of their surroundings, but like they're still gray. I almost want to do something like that, where it's like maybe they're starting gray at the top, and then they slowly start to blend in towards the because they'll be standing on like the fucking Gothic ruins, right? So maybe I do something where it's like they're standing on their bases, but like their cloaks kind of color shift into the bases a bit. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. I don't even know if I think that most of the stuff's hidden underneath the canopy. Probably shouldn't paint it. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I guess what I'll do is I'll assemble them. I'll probably do a test model, to be honest. Since it's a new scout type, and the cloak is such a like major part of the model. Yeah, I'll definitely do a test model. Kind of fun thing about this army though. Yeah, I've thought about it. The problem is with stencils. Well, there's no problem with stencils. I mean, I like stencils. The problem is like, I don't know. It kind of feels like cheating, I guess, in some ways to me. I know it's not. And like, obviously, you still have to like paint the model, whatever, but I want to do something where it's like, I did it, I guess. And I can like point to it and say like, this was like my technique. I know that's kind of hypocritical coming from someone that's like using transfers and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I have no logical consistency when it comes to that, but in my heart, I'm like, I'd rather like figure out a way to do it myself, I guess. Even if it's like super painful. Can you send me any transfers, like, or like what kind of stencils you're talking about? Like, I don't want to just do like a, I guess I could do like a patterned stencil. Where it's like the camo, almost. I'm really tempted to glue on the top, guys, right now. See what it looks like. Do you have any stencil companies you can recommend, James? Or like, point me in the direction of them? I'll take a look. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Something like it's, I almost wanted to do, I think we talked about it, like fractals. I don't know how hard that'd be, and I think it'd be like crazy hard. If I could figure out a way to do like a fractal pattern. Almost like a random, but like mathematical in a way. Like it looks random, but it's not. I think that'd be really cool. Now I'm just painting shit that's not ever gonna get seen. What I'll probably do is well, what I really need to do is finish this tank. That's step one, so that I can put one of the scouts together and take a look at it. The problem with those kinds of things on really small models is like they don't really show up. Like it's hard to have a stencil on like a little tiny it's hard to have a stencil on like a 28mm model where the cloak is like really kind of like flowy and it's like in weird spots. You know what I'm saying? Alright, excuse me, guys. Look, easing fit there. Yeah, let's take a look at my No. I want to see how. I'm just gonna see what it covers. Okay, so give me an idea of where. So, like, remember how I said I was highlighting those pipes? Look at, like, look where they are. Like, you literally can't see them. So this gives me a good idea of, like, what I can see and don't see. Little, keep it on there for now. Guide. It's a little rough. Yeah. Which ones have you seen on Eliminators, James? The polygon patterns? Okay. I think I have greasy fingers, so I'm always like scared to like touch them. I definitely want to figure something out for the tank, though. It's gonna be a little bit boring on its own. My thought was to do some blue paneling, so like I could pick out like these side panels here and do them in blue. What do you think of that? Do you think that's gonna? Do you think it'd be kind of too, I guess, disruptive for the scheme? I don't know. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to do something very delicate. Let's can't really talk when I do this. If I breathe, I'm gonna screw it up. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna highlight the inside there. I did a kind of a shitty job already, so I'm gonna have to go back over it. Polygon grid connected with lines. Yeah. I think I'm getting like, you know, as you get older, you like lose muscle control. I think my hands are getting shakier as I've gotten older, for sure. I feel like certain things that like I used to be able to do really easily, as like I struggle with now. Let's see, so there, good there. So like basically up to there on there. Anywhere else? See, I think that's it for like kind of hidden highlights, I guess. We do the base coated. Base is always fun to do because it's like, it feels like the model's complete. I don't know why I don't just airbrush this. That would be way easier. I kind of want it to feel a little bit what, the Falcon? Yeah. They could have probably at this point done all the Eldar tanks in like one kit. Because if you look at the amount of room is on the sprues, like it's crazy looking at the old sprues. Because obviously, I don't know, like obviously, like I'm pretty sure they sculpted the pieces and then they like would like hand place them or like place them on the like molding machine to make them like they'd maybe make them out of resin and then like somehow they'd like cast the molds, the plastic molds almost. Now it's all done in CAD, but like obviously they used to do it I think by like hand, where they like literally place the pieces in a square on like every place you're gonna go. And it's crazy to see like the older sprues, the old plastics, how much room there was. Like they would basically put like so much room in between all the different the pieces. And nowadays like the plastic sprues are like so packed, like there's not even like a single like centimeter of like empty space, right? Which is good, but it also means like when you look at those old ones, you're like, yeah, you could have probably put like 6 more kit, like double the kits on this. I actually kind of like the look of this, like just being painted on. It gives it a bit of like a texture look. I'm gonna do 2 coats, obviously. Okay, so I guess what do I have left to do on this thing? This part. Not much. I guess I could do these little where is it? Where's my green stuff? I'm trying to figure out like how do I add color to the tank without making it look I don't know, like ruining it, I guess. I don't know if I wait till I've painted all the gems, because I feel like right now it looks like really basic, right? Like it looks super basic right now, the blend. But like once I panel line it, once I pick out all the gems, once I pick out all the like the bits and bobs, it'll really like it'll look a lot different at the same time. And then obviously once I throw transfers on and gems and all that stuff, at the same time I'm like, it is looking a little bit plain. So do I just YOLO it like a pattern? Do I kind of risk just doing like a pattern on it? Maybe like almost like the GW one. Let me look at the GW one really quick. What do you guys think? I need some help. I really don't want to. I guess worst comes to worst, because that's all I've done, I could repaint it or respray it with like pretty little fanfare. So see how this, let's see. I'll throw it up on screen for a sec. We'll see how this has this pattern. Obviously I can't do that because mine cockpit is going to be blue. But maybe I could do something like, I don't know, something else. Oh, I didn't even notice this little warning sign. That's cool. There's like a transfer there. I didn't notice that. That's where they go. Cool to know. See right there. See, like this is kind of what mine looks like, but it's a little bit, obviously a lot different. I need help. Wave serpent. So like this. See here. I know we did this yesterday, guys, so bear with me. I don't like this. Let's see one that I like. This feels a little bit schizophrenic. That one. Maybe I could do something like this. So like a little simpler pattern. See how like these lines are quite thin? Maybe I could do like on the front here, I could do like 2 thin lines just to like help contrast it a bit. Well, this is the first, so Glenn, this is the first vehicle I'm doing for this army. This everything else I've done is infantry, and it's been pretty straightforward. But this is the first vehicle, so this vehicle kind of will determine my future vehicles. There's something like this, right? I could do something like that. I could just leave it plain and just go for like heavy transfers. I kind of like this. A little boring. This BL Town one's cool. The bikes. This I don't like the kind of solid. So this is kind of interesting too. Something like this. There's your like patterns there you're talking about, James. Hexagon pattern stencils. The hard part is on the Wave Serpent. The hard part of the Wave Serpent is like the little tabs. So like, oh no, I ended up on this bad blog. So like the tabs here kind of make it complicated because you gotta be really careful that whatever, I'm gonna do the canopy like this. See this like blend on the canopy? I'm gonna do like a painted canopy like that. It's gonna be blue because I do have blue in the army. But you gotta be careful because these little things here, it can really easily like make whatever pattern you do look not great and like kind of like feel I guess disruptive to the pattern. I hate shit like this where it's just a pure airbrush. I could do something like this where it's like blue paneling. I'm just thinking, looking at it. Could I do that? Or like a back one like that. Online gaming, boo, get out of here. This is the cool thing about Eldar, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I can just airbrush lines like randomly across it and people would be like, yo, sweet. Eldar. This one's ugly as fuck. Sorry guys, this is, ew, that's disgusting. And some people need to not paint these models. That's gross too. I kind of like this. That's cool. It's like simple, but it's like subtle. You know? Almost worth it. Well, what color do I do though? Because like, I'm not going to do beige. Do I do the blue? But then the cockpit, I have to do a different color. So if I did the blue, I just feel like the blue's not contrasting enough with the blue doesn't contrast enough with the, like, on my models, like the little guys, the blue is like a small amount, and I go really bright with it. On zoom, focus, autofocus. I never use autofocus. Focus, there we go. So the blue's quite bright, and it's like a small amount. I'm just worried that it's not going to be that, it's going to be too close to that color. Well, the purple of my gems is what my gems are going to be. So I don't want to do all the gems that color plus more from that. I do have to incorporate this color into it somehow. because I tie in a little bit of that orange from the rest of the army. So maybe I'll do the cockpit that color, kind of like a red-orange color. Or maybe I'll do some of the gems that color. But these are kind of the only colors. The only other option would be to do this gray color. So the same gray that I'm like using for like all the dark bits. I could do something like that. I don't know, it's like I feel paralyzed. But now's the time, right? Like, while it's disassembled, while it's just got the single simple airbrush that took me like literally like 25 minutes to do. Now's the time to fuck around, not like. So my option is, what I could do. What do I have for tape? What I could do is like, I'll just use this as an example. Like a purple band. Is that what you mean? What do you mean if it's subtle? I don't really understand. Because like these things are gonna be bone, right? The gems I could do red. The time with the rest of the army. Originally I was gonna do the I think I kind of just go purple, you know? Do I just YOLO it? Do I just YOLO a purple strip in right now? What do you guys think? Orange, but I don't want to do a strip of orange, bro. I think purple is going to look the best from a contrast standpoint. Question is, where do I put it? Let's do it, guys. Let's YOLO in some shit right now. You only paint once, right? Okay, so I'm feeling you guys have got me all hyped up now. So we'll do 2. What do you think? Like that? Across the engine? Maybe on that line. I wanted to avoid these front pieces, right? Pinky purple. You guys are ridiculous. What's pinky purple, James? Oh, wrong tape. Okay, so like, we're thinking like that. What do you guys think? Like a strip like that, maybe? Or thinner? Oh, it's too thin. Like that, maybe? Should I just YOLO that in right now? Make sure it's thin. I'm gonna hate myself if this line is uneven in any way. This is why I need thinner tape. I mean, I can always fix it. I'm not going to do Warlord purple. I'm going to do the same purple I've been doing across the army. You guys are killing me here. This could be my greatest triumph or my biggest failure. I'm about to find out. Only ends one of two ways. No middle ground when it comes to painting. God damn it. What do you think, guys? Will this be my greatest triumph? This is masking tape, so it's not the tackiness of the tape that I'm worried about. It's just the this is like special painter's mask. It's the thickness of this line, making sure it's like even. What I needed is like a thin tape, so I put down the thin tape, and then I align the other tape to it. That looks. Oh, I hate it already, guys. I haven't even painted it and I hate it already. No, the pokey things will be a different color. They're gonna be the bone. Does that look even? Because keep in mind, this is the turret, right? Is it gonna look weird if this line isn't through the turret as well? Maybe I should have it avoid the turret, right? If it's not going to go through the turret, it should avoid the turret. Correct? I believe that's correct. So, quick adjustment. Yeah, I will. This is just the guide tape. Okay, I think I need to avoid the turret. So I think I need to go more like this. I want it to go over the engine hole. Trust me, I'm not gonna... Once I have the line down, I'm gonna tape the shit out of it. Further back? What do you mean no? Is that bad? I was gonna go like this. Like a line like that. You think? What do you mean no? That dingo? I don't like that. I don't like no. The problem is I don't want it going over the turret because it's gonna interfere with the turret. Like the scheme in the turret. All these damn nibbly knobs. Whatever the fuck they are. I'd never be a real good painter, like a house painter. You know what I'm gonna use? The magic tool. Yeah, I know. I get it. Guys, there's a million, Glenn, there's a million things that could go wrong here. I'm being careful, trust me. I don't even know if I want to do this. I can't avoid all the nibbly knobs, all the gems, all the pokey bits, all the turrets. Like there's literally nothing, there's no area on this tank that fulfills all those requirements. I think you need to kind of cut around the tape a bit. I wish there was a spot on this tank that fulfilled all those requirements that you just mentioned. There's like no gems, no nothing, but it literally doesn't exist. I imagine there'll be some cleanup, but what I can do is I can just, wherever like bits spilled over, I just go over with black. I just like extend the band a bit. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah? Yes, no, maybe so? Is it even? Is there a way to tell? I guess I could use a ruler. I'm really nervous. Really nervous. Where's my ruler? I have a little ruler somewhere in here. Exactly for these moments. Ah. Okay, so here, this is 1 and 1. This is, yeah, I mean, they're basically even. Okay, I'm going for it, guys. Okay, so let me get some. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is what you meant, right, Glenn? Don't overspray. Whew. All right, let's get the airbrush out. Yeah, I'm not gonna do. I don't want to have to do fucking open heart surgery on these things to just to get them fucking on the table. Let's go. Okay, let me get all this other stuff out of the way. My desk is a mess. The result, my mind is a mess. As they say, an organized station is an organized mind. I used to always tell my chefs. Let me reorganize quickly. Just make sure, like, there will be some overspill. That's okay, because I can always correct it by just taking a black paint and kind of blacklining the purple bit. So like it'll be this plus like a millimeter of black on either side, if that makes sense. Oh, one sec. Alright. Transition on the purple line too. Well, yeah, I'm gonna highlight the purple line for sure. Okay. Alright, here we go, guys. So I'm gonna use, so the purple that I do is transparent purple from Paracrol. So I'm gonna do that first because I want to do a dark base coat, and then I'll obviously do like a highlight airbrush. But first I'm just gonna go straight up. Straight gangsta. Oh, this is scary. It is transparent though, so maybe that'll help me. If this is ruined, guys, well, it's all on camera being ruined, so I can blame you guys. Okay, so I want to go.
Lord. And give it a sec to dry. Go back in for some more. Lord, Lord, Lord. What have you guys done? Need a drink, but I don't have one. But this is what's happened. Purple. Trust the process. Yeah, I guess I should. I mean, worst comes to worst. This is the least amount of like fixing I'd have to do, because I could easily just reprime this and re-airbrush it. It's not like I'm doing this to a finished model, you know? Okay, so that's the dark. Now I'm going to add a little bit of white to it and start the highlights. Gotta add it by brush, I think, because this transparent purple really does take on color really easily, like just a little bit of white. I'll let brighten up quite a bit. See, now I'm like at the point where I'm like, okay, I gotta rip off the tape right now. It looks like. Obviously, it's not a good idea. There. Right? Yeah, no, your instinct is like, okay, I gotta see it right away, right? If you want to see it right away, see exactly what it looks like. Stencil's a little bit different though, right? Because I feel like you know what you're gonna get, I guess, in some sense. Oh shit. The question is, the bigger question is how bright do I go? Because I don't want to go too bright. But I also don't want it to feel like unhighlighted. I want the, I guess the level of like contrast between the dark and the light to match the level of contrast on my
Oh shit. Did I overspray? I think I may have. I may have not taped enough. Oh, that's fixable. You warned me, John. I should have listened. I got lazy. Or sorry, Glenn. Happens. I get excited. Back to. I guess the thing is, like, I want the level of contrast to match the level of contrast on the rest of the vehicle, or the rest of the paint. So like, the same like difference in brightness between the light, the purple, and the I want it to be the same between the green and the I don't know if that makes sense. Or do I do a little bit more muted? I think I go a little more muted. Yeah, basically. The problem is the transition of the green is a lot different than the transition on the purple. The transition on the, I think that's as far as I'm gonna go. The transition on the green is like front to back, but the way I'm doing this highlighting is more like panel-ish because it's a line. I can't really do the front to back. You know what I'm saying? I think I'll go with just a touch brighter on the brightest spots. And that's it. Yeah, that's gonna go. Okay, that's it. All right. Yeah, and then I will do I'm obviously gonna go and still panel line it, so there's like a nice black line between the panels and the I'll still do a panel line, so there's like a nice panel line between all the dark spots. And then I'm probably potentially still going with a little bit of brush highlighting, depending on like where it is, like a touch. Like on this, I did just like the smallest bit of like, can't see it. I just did the smallest bit of edge highlighting just on the tip, but like nowhere else. So I might for certain spots and same with like the front of those. I guess my point is like whatever contrast I'll get here, I can still go in with like a little bit of glaze even if I need to and like increase it rather than trying to like over engineer it right now in a very small area on the airbrush. I think I'll just like, I think I'll stop playing with it right now. So how long do I gotta wait to get this fucking tape off? Is a better question. I definitely oversprayed onto the chassis. I know exactly. That's okay though. Me being impatient as fuck. Even though you warned me. Alright, let's see. Okay. I'll give it a sec to dry. While I do, I'll do one more layer on this base here. While she dries. It's not actually bleach bone. It's this yellow, this pale yellow from Proacryl. When the paint on the tape is dry. Come on, man. You want me to wait that long? That sounds like a long time. You can see I'm painting this so fast so I can get to the tape. Like, the faster I paint this, faster I can take off the tape. Yeah, let's take a look. Take a look, guys. Let's take a look. Might be the final act. We'll go slowly, one piece at a time. Where like I take off the tape and it like completely ruins my previous airbrushing. You can see I did a little bit of muck up there, a little bit of purple. It's okay, it's fixable. In here as well. Okay. What do I get? Being a lazy painter. Ah, come on. Come on now it's just being rude. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Moment of truth. Ugh. This is gonna take some speed up for sure. What do you think? Do I hate it? Do I hate it? I think with some cleanup, I could learn to love it, or like it at least. I almost think it needs a second line now. You know what I'm saying? Like a thinner line. Cause it kind of feels alone now. I know I sound like a crazy person now after saying. You think farther back? The problem is I don't want it I don't want it to cross the turret. I don't want the second line to have to cross the turret. You know what I'm saying? So I think I do a second line, but I do it like just in front, so it still dodges this thing. So it's like basically here, let me see if I can maybe I can make at least, I won't do it today because I think I need to sit on this for a day. And I want to go back and fix the other stuff first before I get back into it. But what I'm thinking is, well, let's say I got my tape here. I can do this on camera. Okay.
Got a ruler. Wait.
So let's say I want to do.
Where's a pen?
I guess pencil will be fine. So let's say I want to do a 0.5 centimeter, or like I want the gap to be. I think I want. Would it break for the cockpit? No, I think I'd go over the cockpit. But then, do I do it under the turret then? Do I do it under the turret? I could do like a super thin line. Like I could do like a line, so like I could do like a line like that thin. Do you think that'd be too thin? Like if it was like that thin? What do you guys think? I mean, I could do like a gap that thin and then another line that thin and probably still... I don't think it's the end of the world though if it goes under the turret. I definitely think it needs a second line. I think it probably needs to go under the turret. I don't think I can squeeze one in front without looking weird. But I kind of feel like from a spatial perspective, it should go in front. Because the thinner line and then thicker. It should go thin to thick in my head. Yeah, I mean, thanks, Tips. Thanks, buddy. Like, obviously, I wouldn't do what I just did again. I would obviously mask off my line for sure first. This was a very last-minute addition. Trust me, I wasn't planning to do this. So what if I did this? What if I did Glenn with the like super helpful, not helpful tip that like doesn't help me at all. I'm just giving you a hard time, buddy. I appreciate it. Okay, what if I did, let's say a one, oh fuck. Let's say 1 centimeter, the 0.5 centimeter gap, or sorry, with the 0.5 centimeter gap, we'll do half and then 1. And then what I'll do, I think I do a really thin line though. Let's go like that thin. Okay. I know, man. I'm just giving you a hard time. You got me in this mess, right? So obviously I gotta give you a hard time. The problem is if this is too thin, it's gonna be like so hard to mask. Like the in-between part. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's already a nightmare. Oh shit, I just put my nail mark through it. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like this is gonna be oh no, bro. I appreciate it. I'm just giving you a hard time. In the end, I think I'll be happy with it. I just gotta, this is a new thing for me, right? So I'm just like being I'm just being cheeky to you. But I do appreciate it because you've been super helpful, but I'm just the like lazy painter part of me is like, fuck, why did I embark on this journey? Reminds me of that one time I decided to do a whole army of non-metallic metal, and then like by the 3rd unit I was like, why did I... Fuck, I've smudged the purple now. And then I realized I had made a huge mistake. You know what I'm saying? And then I do like this. That's not true. I'll try just about everything once. I could do this. And then like basically... I could like do another line. Like there almost. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously I'll mask back. I'm just thinking as far as like thickness. I could still dodge, mostly dodge the cockpit, dodge that little thing in the end. Just do like a really thin one, kind of. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. I said I'd try almost anything once. And if I tried that, I'd only try it once. Okay. Is there special tape you can get that isn't fucking garbage? Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it for tonight because I'm getting frustrated and I've already been streaming for 3 hours. So I can't even stream for 3 hours. So I've been streaming for 3 hours. I'm getting frustrated with this model. I'm gonna let it sit for a day. I'm gonna think on it. I'm gonna do a little bit of soul searching, and then I'll come back to tomorrow. Because if I start to try to tape it up now after 3 hours, I'm gonna get frustrated and I'm gonna hate it. And I might even repaint the whole thing, like, and then remask it. Like, do what you just said, but like from the start. Like, forget that I've already masked it or painted it, but like basically reprime it and do that again. I might do that in the end if I think it's gonna end up with a better result. Where do I get the Tamiya tape, Glenn? Is it just like model store? I can go to the model store tomorrow and get some. I'll look it up. Colors. Away. This way, this way. Way. Keep all your toys away. Oh, shit. Alright guys, well that's gonna be it today. Thanks so much, Glenn. I really appreciate it. Tune in tomorrow for the epic resolution to whatever the fuck I'm gonna do with this tank. On the bright side, I'm really happy with the bottom. Yeah, I'm really happy with the bottom, and I'm really happy with the turret. So, all things being equal, it's just this one top piece that I got to figure out, and then I think I'm gonna be in good shape. Ruler away, dust clear, and that's gonna be it, guys. All right, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Maybe actually no, I don't know if there's gonna be a stream tomorrow, because if there is tomorrow, it'll be starting at 7 p.m. So I'll post in Discord. Make sure to join Discord. Like,